Pikmin 4 is just over the horizon, and that begs the question, what enemies will be returning in Pikmin 4? First off, I'm going to go off enemies I think are most likely to be seen in Pikmin 4, and then I will speak about ones I would love to see return. Starting off with Pikmin 1's roster of enemies, most of these did return into Pikmin 2, and quite a few of them also came to Pikmin 3, and I think the ones that made it through all games are definitely most likely to appear again. For example, Fiery Blowhogs, Water Dumples, Wollywogs all seem very likely, along with maybe some smaller ones like Sheer Grubs. These are all enemies which first appeared in Pikmin 1 and made it all the way to Pikmin 3, and some of these are the most memorable enemies you will ever come across, so it would be almost criminal to not include them in a Pikmin game. There are also a lot of enemies which come with variants, which most didn't appear in Pikmin 3, which is kind of sad, and I think it would be really awesome to see some of these return. For example, the White Wollywog, the Withering Blowhog, the Bumbling Snitchbug, the Iridescent Glib Beetle, Decorated Cannon Beetle, and the Hairy Bulborb. These all usually have really awesome designs, but some of these enemies are now useless, like the Bumbling Snitchbug. The Bumbling Snitchbug's use was now given to the normal Snitchbug, so unless they reworked it, there's no chance of this guy coming back. And a lot of enemies might actually not be added to the game because of the way the game mechanics work. For example, if bomb rocks are now completely removed, we will never see the careening Dirigibug. And even if bomb rocks are included in the game, depending on how you use them could make this guy not appear. For example, in Pikmin 3, bomb rocks are used by your Pikmin and not enemies, so this guy couldn't be in that game. And because we have so little gameplay of Pikmin 4, it's kind of hard to determine these things. Although we do have solid concrete evidence that at least 3 enemies will be in the game, so that's good to know. Those being the White Spectralid, the Bulborb, the Dwarf Bulborb. There are a few enemies which make a Pikmin game what it is, so we can definitely assume a few that we could see in this game. We are definitely most likely to see an Arachnorb in the game, whether that be Beady or one of his many cousins. Personally, I would love to see Beady again. I don't want to see Baldy again, get out of here. I think there are a lot of bosses that are very likely. For example, Emperor Bulblax, he is a very iconic Pikmin enemy, and he got cut from Pikmin 3, so I would imagine that Pikmin 4 is his time to come back again. But then some bosses like Man at Legs, which are just such a one-off, I feel like there won't be something like this again. Or perhaps they will, but I don't think it will be the same Man at Legs. What we almost can confirm is we're definitely going to get another type of Wraith. There is a Wraith in every single game, and they're always this mysterious, powerful being, and who knows what the Pikmin 4 Wraith could be and how powerful it could be. That is one thing I'm very excited to find out about. The enemies are honestly one of my favourite parts of Pikmin. There's just so much variety, and they're so mysterious and scary and dangerous. It's awesome discovering them for the first time. Some of my favourite enemies are definitely the water enemies, because just seeing puckering Blinos swimming around adds so much life to the water, and I really hope this continues in Pikmin 4. I'm now picturing an algae-covered lake where you have to go into the water to see what's inside, and there could be hidden enemies, hidden treasures. I think that'd be really awesome to see. A lot of enemies also got a redesign from Pikmin 2 to Pikmin 3, and it looks as if they are getting slightly changed in Pikmin 4 as well, as the Bulborbs look a lot more smoother. So please do not complain about these new designs. Think about how much effort that Bulborb had to go through to get that lotion on. I really love the idea of more cartoonish creatures in a more realistic environment, and I think it's gonna look amazing, and I can't wait to see what the other enemies turn out like. Just knowing there's going to be changes without actually seeing changes is really exciting, because it can really leave your mind up to imagination of what they could do with some of our old enemies. Now it's time to speak about enemies I would like to see return, and there's quite a lot of them, so I'm just going to go through the main ones. The first one being an interesting one, the Ravenous Whiskerpillar. Now these guys are just honestly annoying, but they're just kind of an interesting ambient enemy, if you know what I mean. It would just be cool to see them just in the wildlife while you're doing other tasks. And it just really adds to the whole idea of that these live on this planet. They don't just exist in one area. My next pick being the Cloaking Baronet. We kind of have these in Pikmin 3, but they are technically a different species or a different kind. And it'd just be cool to see this version also return, and just see what it would look like in the Pikmin 4 style. Like mentioned previously, I would love to see the Dirigibugs again. They are kind of annoying, but at the same time, when you know when to deal with them, they're pretty easy. And also, they just look so cool. Another pick which is super awesome is the endangered species of the Jelly Floats. Perhaps they didn't appear in Pikmin 3 because we did make them go extinct. Who knows? But seeing these guys on the Switch's graphics would be so awesome. I also wouldn't mind the appearance of Dweevils. They just feel like an enemy that would be extremely common and just kind of roams the entirety of PNF 404. And also the idea of enemies picking up objects could make for some awesome puzzle solving. Wogpoles are also a big one. Like I said earlier about the whole water enemy thing, they just add so much life to an area, and it would be great to see them again. And then of course the bread bug. Everybody wants to see this guy again, and it would be awesome to see some
HD bread.
I bet he looks tasty in Pikmin 4. Honey wisps are always a beautiful one. I just really like the ambient, kind of glowing, beautiful enemies. And of course Beady, this guy's a classic. I think this one's very unlikely, but the segmented Crobster looks really awesome in my opinion, and is a very cool boss. Perhaps we will see something like juvenile Crobsters. And I also wouldn't mind seeing Beady Longlegs variants again, like Raging Longlegs. And not whatever this thing is. Ugh. There are honestly too many enemies throughout the entirety of Pikmin that I could even say that I want in Pikmin 4. What enemies do you want to see in Pikmin 4? Let me know down in the comments. Merry Pikmas and thank you for watching. And don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed the video.